Kid Rock is a polarizing artist who has faced intense scrutiny in recent years, but what if I told you the musician's outrageous moments go back to the very beginning of his career? From brawls with rock legends to shocking public rants, the rap rock superstar has never been one to shy away from controversy. Long before social media amplified every scandal, Kid Rock was already making waves with his unfiltered rebel persona. Today, we're diving deep into some of the most outrageous moments of the wild rock star's career, so buckle up as we explore the wild, shocking, and downright unbelievable moments that have made Kid Rock one of the most controversial figures in music. Kid Rock talks trash on Detroit. Kid Rock has made a lot of bold claims over the years that detail a clear picture of the man's personality. One detail that's clear to anyone who's ever listened to his music is that the rock star has a deep connection to his hometown of Detroit. In fact, it seems like every album that Kid Rock has ever released includes at least one reference to the Motor City. Over the years, fans and critics alike have begun to realize that Kid Rock's relationship with Detroit is more of a complicated tapestry of pride and criticism. Beefing with other Detroit citizens and businesses is pretty par for the course with Kid Rock, but it came to a head in 2017 in the lead-up to a concert at the Little Caesars Arena. The arena slated the musical native for 6 shows to celebrate their grand opening, a move that was heavily criticized by the locals and activists who believe that Kid Rock's use of the Confederate flag and other racist imagery had made him a poor representation of the city of Detroit. One day before his first performance, the National Action Network organized a protest outside of the arena where they chanted "No justice, no pizza." The incendiary performer then took to his Facebook in a lengthy rebuttal to the rising protests and said that in part he was disappointed that none of the people, businesses, or charities that he so diligently supported over the years in Detroit have had anything to say about all of these unfounded attacks. He then went on to call himself the bona fide king of Detroit love and ended his rant with a harsh remark about not respecting anyone who kneels during the national anthem, followed by an all-caps "I love black people." As if the drama that surrounded the performances was not enough, Kid Rock also chose the moment of virility to make a public announcement. The politically passionate man was then running for Senate. Though many of Kid Rock's outlandish moments have led to potential legal troubles, none were quite as big of a mess as the musician's 2017 fake Senate run. The musician even launched a now-defunct website, KidRockForSenate.com, complete with campaign slogans, a promotional video, and a variety of Kid Rock for Senate merchandise, which included t-shirts, hats, and bumper stickers. The move quickly captured the media's attention and led to widespread speculation about his political ambitions. Now, initially, it wasn't clear whether Kid Rock's announcement was genuine or a publicity stunt. After all, it would not be the first time the man had hinted at running for Senate. But it was the first time he went through the trouble of creating a website, selling merchandise, and even making political speeches that were quickly used as fodder by late-night talk shows and comedians.
Last year, you may recall, Kid Rock announced he was running for the Senate, and of course, turned out to be a publicity stunt.
For months, Kid Rock kept up with the charade, tricking thousands of fans into believing that he was truly running for Senate, all while hawking his merchandise. Then in October of 2017, he went onto the Howard Stern show and pulled the rug out from under tens of thousands of musician-turned-politicians' devoted followers by telling the host that he was never truly running for Senate and it was all a marketing ploy for the upcoming album, Sweet Southern Sugar. In that same interview, Kid Rock discussed the success of the stunt, saying that he had $20 million and that he wasn't running for Senate. He thought it was a joke. Though $20 million may be a stretch, Forbes had analyzed the situation and concluded that the campaign had likely generated a significant income for Kid Rock. Following the musician's admission, the Federal Election Commission then took notice of his campaign activities, and the attention was partly due to complaints that were received during the hoax because he had engaged in activities that were typical of a political candidate, like selling campaign-themed merchandise and soliciting support, which could have violated the federal campaign laws if he had been a real candidate. Despite all the controversy, the FEC ultimately decided not to pursue legal action once Kid Rock admitted that the campaign was in fact not serious. They acknowledged that the actions did not constitute a genuine campaign and thus fell outside of their regulatory scope. The artist had managed to dodge the legal bullet regarding the political stunt, but it would not be the first time he would be under legal scrutiny. When it comes to outrageous Kid Rock moments, you can't gloss over the multiple times the star had been arrested for public fighting. Kid Rock's tendency to find himself in brawls has become almost legendary over the years, and one of the most infamous incidents took place in September of 2007 at a Waffle House in Atlanta, Georgia. Kid Rock and his entourage got into an altercation with a customer, which led to a brawl that caused significant damages inside of the restaurant itself. The fight resulted in Kid Rock being arrested and charged with battery. He later pleaded no contest and was given a $1,000 fine and sentenced to 80 hours of community service. Rewinding back to 2006, before that infamous Waffle House showdown, we have another legendary Kid Rock public feud. At the time, Kid Rock was dating Pamela Anderson, who had previously been married to Tommy Lee of the legendary rock band Motley Crue. Rock and Lee got into a heated exchange at the MTV Video Music Awards after Kid Rock allegedly intentionally moved near Tommy's assigned seat and began bad-mouthing the rock star. The two then got into a physical altercation during the live broadcast, and although he wouldn't be arrested, it was widely reported and further cemented the Southern rocker's wild reputation. Though the Waffle House brawl and the Tommy Lee MTV fight went down into rock and roll history, Kid Rock has had a lot of other physical altercations that fans may not know about. One notable fight took place in 2005 outside of a strip club in Nashville. Kid Rock would be arrested after a dispute with a DJ who had allegedly made derogatory remarks about him. He would be charged with misdemeanor assault and then later on was sued by the DJ. Less than a year after that, he was sued once again, this time by 3 men who claimed that they were assaulted by Kid Rock and 3 members of the hip-hop group Booyah Tribe outside of an LA hotel. For his part in the assault, the superstar singer was ordered to pay over $35,000 in restitution. These incidents are only a few examples of Kid Rock's tumultuous public persona, illustrating a pattern of confrontations that have led to legal troubles and media scrutiny.
And I can't remember, kids talking around this fire, and he just started popping that shit, and I just fucking went at him.
And despite the frequent clashes, Kid Rock's reputation for living on the edge has only endeared the artist more to a certain segment of his fan base, while leaving others shaking their heads. Of all the wild things that Kid Rock has said and done, it seems that nothing has pushed a segment of the man's audience so far as the multiple instances of homophobia and transphobia caught on camera. Though some of the signs of sexuality-based bigotry go back to well before he was even a superstar, the modern state of social media and instant virility has highlighted many of the musician's more recent controversial views. In 2019, a clearly intoxicated Kid Rock was filmed singing at a Nashville bar, and during that performance, he notices he's being filmed and becomes enraged, even screaming at the person making the video to post his genitals on the internet before flipping the bird and calling him a particularly offensive homophobic slur. The video then went viral in 2021, immediately garnering backlash, and the provocative artist took to Twitter in self-defense, stating that if using that word offended someone, well, there's a good chance that they were that word. The reactions became swift and angry, with many users pointing out that the use of such language amongst LGBT youth and the dangers of normalizing the word impose serious risks, including people unaliving themselves. While others said that what's more offensive is a rich con artist who claims to be straight out of the trailer selling records. Eventually, all the anger around Kid Rock seemed to come to a simmer until the infamous Bud Light TikTok of 2023. Kid Rock posted a video on TikTok where he shot several cases of Bud Light with an assault rifle. The act was in response to Bud Light's partnership with transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney, who had collaborated with the beer company as part of their marketing campaign. The 52-year-old rap rocker told his followers that he wanted to be completely clear before unleashing a torrent of bullets into 2 cases of Bud Light.
Grandpa's feeling a little frisky today.
He ended the video with the middle finger and a rather curse-laden rant. Then, just a week later, the singer was photographed drinking Bud Light, which had led to many calling him out for being a hypocrite. He would later explain to Tucker Carlson on his show that he was simply done boycotting Bud Light as the company had learned its lesson.
You'll spank them for the rest of their life. You kind of, someone gets taught a lesson, they say we made a mistake.
Whether Kid Rock's reaction to the Dylan Mulvaney collaboration was genuine or just rage bait, we may never know, it wouldn't be the first time that he stirred up controversy for no apparent reason. It's long been perceived that Kid Rock loves to randomly insult other famous people and musicians just to get the media attention. Some have even begun to notice that the artist often targets successful women. 3 of the biggest names involved are Oprah Winfrey, Taylor Swift, and Beyoncé. In 2019, TMZ released a video showing a drunk Kid Rock ranting about Oprah Winfrey, Kathy Lee Gifford, and Joy Behar, though the singer went particularly hard on Oprah, calling the philanthropist talk show host a fraud and saying that she could perform some actions on him down below. He then goes on to insist that he's not a racist before yelling a curse word at Oprah Winfrey. The rant arrives 4 years after the backlash of a Rolling Stone interview with Kid Rock, where the artist strayed off topic to admit that he couldn't understand why Beyoncé was so successful. He blustered on about Beyoncé, talking about how he didn't understand how she was so big when she didn't have any real big hits like Purple Rain, Sweet Home Alabama, or Old Time Rock and Roll. He then switched from Beyoncé's discography to a rant that felt much more misogynistic to fans. Beyoncé's fans did not take kindly to the remarks and flooded Kid Rock's Instagram with comments of support and outrage. Kid Rock responded to Beyoncé's fans with a photo of a can of Raid bug spray. Seeming to never have learned a lesson, Kid Rock landed in hot water once again in 2019 after the pop megastar Taylor Swift had made a statement to explain she didn't publicly support Hillary Clinton in her campaign for presidency because Swift was afraid of giving the politician bad press. Kid Rock reacted by tweeting about the young singer's desperation to be famous, saying that Taylor Swift wanted to be a Democrat because she wants to be in movies and will suck the doorknob off of Hollyweird to get there. Thousands of comments then flooded in, expressing disgust at Kid Rock's comment and what appeared to be obvious jealousy or misogyny. All of the controversies were soon adding up, and it seemed as though the artist was slipping more and more into a hateful narrative often associated with far-right ideologies. This was compounded by the 2022 music video for the song We the People, a corny anthem to being anti-vax, anti-COVID protocol, anti-immigration, and anti-mental health treatments. The bizarre video opens with Kid Rock, donned in red, white, and blue, in front of a blank white screen with 2 middle fingers to the air, before showing images of Democratic politicians and Dr. Fauci with curse words splattered across their face. And though the YouTube comments are mostly supportive of Kid Rock's controversial tune, the album Bad Reputation was considered to be a major flop and would be the first Kid Rock album in over a decade to not chart in the Billboard 200. Music critics referred to Bad Reputation as a record that confirmed Kid Rock's diminished status, catering exclusively to the only audience he had left, who were aging rockers also stuck in the past.
American dream does exist, but it's getting to a scary place with so much political correctness. You know, some days I feel like I'm for freedom on every level. Some days I feel like we've established who we are as a country now after a few hundred years, and at some point we got to say, okay, these are kind of our values now. You know, you can't come over here and say, we're not gonna, pledge allegiance to one nation under God, because somebody has a problem with it now. They're up in arms.
Kid Rock's career has been a roller coaster of musical hits and headline-grabbing antics. With a loyal fan base and a knack for stirring controversy, he remains a divisive figure. Whether it's waving guns around or sparking political debates, drama just seems to follow him, or perhaps he's creating it at every turn. Despite all of the outrage, his influence and appeal endure. And if you love him or you loathe him, Kid Rock's ability to stay in the spotlight is a testament to his unique place in pop culture, ensuring that his story continues to captivate and provoke.